Oh my god, a banana bread chocolate chip cookie! So excited!
So come join us in the kitchen and let's get cooking. Woo-hoo! Ah! Like all good things in life, this recipe is going to start with butter. Scout agrees. And we're going to have two kinds of butter in this recipe. So we're going to have 1 stick of butter softened to room temperature in the bowl of our mixer. You could also use a handheld mixer for this. I wouldn't really recommend doing this by hand because you do need to get the butter and the sugar pretty creamed. So it would be a really arduous process, but if you're feeling it, good on you. So we have softened room temperature butter in here, 1 stick, and then we have another stick of butter that we browned. We have a video on that actually, if you'd like to learn more about browning butter. Would recommend that, but you can see this has cooled now, but it's a pretty dark color. You give it a sniff, it has just like this really rich caramel flavor to it. And that will go in the bowl now that it has cooled. Okay, and then to that, we're going to add our 2 sugar mixtures. This is brown and white sugar. The proportions of this you can find in the description of this video. Right in. And then pop on your stand mixer, and you're gonna let this mix for about 3 minutes. It's gonna get pretty white and ribbony. So we'll just turn her on and we'll check in a few minutes. Okay, so if you look in here, this has been going for about 3 minutes. I turned it off and the volume has about doubled. You have just this very fluffy kind of whipped sugary butter mixture in here. If you have a stand mixer, you know everything will kind of stick to the sides. So just go in with your spatula and make sure it's really well incorporated. But if you gave it a full 3 minutes, it should be great. Scrape that down. And then to that, we're going to add our banana mixture. You may notice that this cake does not have any cookies, that these cookies do not have any eggs in them. So if you've ever made some vegan recipes, you'll know that bananas tend to be a really good egg substitute. So in order to get a crispy element in these cookies, they're not too cakey, we omitted the egg. So we're gonna go in with the banana. This is 1 medium banana, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then a little bit of, I use pumpkin pie spice, you could just use cinnamon, that's up to you. We'll put that in. And then we'll let her incorporate. On a low speed, we'll get this going again. All right, that's now incorporated. This is all of our wet ingredients. Give it another scrape around the edges. Make sure everything is incorporated. To that, we're going to add our dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I have our baking powder, our flour, and our salt. We're going to put this on just the lowest speed, and then in small amounts, we'll incorporate the flour. So if you put it all in at once, you have a higher chance of it needing longer to mix, which is going to develop a lot of gluten, which is not something you want in a cookie. You don't want it to be like too chewy the way like a bread is. So this slow incorporation is going to really distribute it well. Okay, we'll put this on low, probably in like 4 chunks. So just put it on stir and then put it in. You also probably noticed that the flour sometimes kicks back up at you, so if you added this all at once, you might get a big old cloud of powder. As it's incorporating, it's starting to pull the dough away from the sides. If you feel like that's not happening, you could go in with your paddle and just make sure that everything is getting incorporated. I'm gonna turn it off. Scrape this down. And just scrape the edge and make sure we don't have any really powdery sections around here, because no one wants a big chunk of raw flour in their cookie. Okay. And then our final step in the mixing process, we have some chocolate, which, like the butter, I like to use 2 styles of chocolate. So I got chocolate chunks, semi-sweet. I like that contrast, but you're welcome to use whatever chocolate you like in a cookie. I got probably half the amount of the chips that I plan to put in here, and I just went in with a knife and I chopped them into shards of like different sizes. If you haven't had a cookie like this, it just incorporates a little more chocolate and a little more richness in every bite, because instead of just relying on the chips, you have these like little shards and tiny little bits of chocolate running through the veins of the whole thing, and it's lit. I recommend it. So we're just gonna go straight in with that. And then the other half, sorry, flour did get everywhere. The other bit of our chocolate. So I used a little over half the bag here, but you could do more. I would recommend, you know, doing a good proportion so that the banana and the rest of the flavors are able to come through. All right, that's our dough all together. I'm gonna get this off the paddle. And then, slightly disappointing news, I'd really recommend you let your batter rest for minimum a few hours. By letting your dough sit in the fridge, when it's unbaked, your flavors are going to mingle and really get to know each other in a way that they're just not going to if you throw it straight in the oven. The other thing is that if your dough is cold, it's going to bake in a different way. Instead of everything being warm going into hot and melting, it's going to be cold going into hot. So it's just going to slow down the process of the butter melting and everything coming together, and you'll end up with a different texture. So I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I'd recommend overnight. I do not have overnight time because I am planning to bring these into work tomorrow. So I'm gonna let them sit for probably 4 or 5 hours, and then I'll bake them tonight, and I'll see you then. Okay, welcome back. Our dough has chilled for a few hours. We just got back from yoga, hence a little outfit change, mood change. These cookies are quite large, the way that I make them. You don't have to do this, but I'd recommend a 4-ounce cookie, and then we're weighing that to get an exact measurement. But so we're putting each dough ball on our parchment paper, ready to go in the oven. It's pretty big, so I'm gonna make sure it has ample space, and then we're just gonna keep going. We'll see how many we can fit in here. I'm guessing probably 6, but let's see. I'm gonna preheat, so I put these back in the fridge. So we got 6 monster cookies. We're going to put these in a 375-degree oven for 13 minutes. And now we wait. All right, Lauren, do you smell what time it is?
Yeah, it smells so good in here.
Let's check. Okay, so these, I'm gonna say take them out a little bit sooner than you might think, and we're gonna do something really fun. We're gonna bring this to a flat surface and we're gonna go. We want these cookies to fall. So you can see how they were pretty high before they've fallen, and they've started to get some of these cracks along here. And then we're gonna take some flaky sea salt while they're still warm. Up to you if you like a little salty component, but it definitely does counteract some of that sweetness. Yum.
Yum.
Just a little pinch on each cookie.
These look so good.
Yay! And we're gonna let these cool for a little bit, and then we'll give them a taste.
Oh. Oh. My gosh. Look at this. Ghost. We look like ghosts.
Ghosts! Well, you know what ghosts love? Fresh baked cookies.
Oh my god. It looks so good. It looks so good. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my gosh. Okay. Look at this. Wow. Oh. That looks so good. Oh my
So you
gosh.
can see where the chocolate is like marbled in, as well as the chips.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
You can definitely bake this a little further if that's what you like, but I know Lauren likes a soft cookie. She's been stunned to silence. Careful, the oven's on.
It's so good.
All right, well,
Oh my gosh.
if you don't take that as you need to make this cookie, I don't know what else to do for you.
I'm crushing it.
Thanks for coming to home cook. We're gonna go eat this.
Mm-hmm.